got to adjust the idle. 50 psi. Yep. Good. You can move your hand. There you go. Yep.
That's pretty nice.
Yep. A lot better. I think it's good. Gases.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
All right, Frank, you think this thing will run?
I think it will. Might take a little bit to adjust it. Gas is off.
What is this thing?
Pulled out. This is a simple vapor generator. It'll vaporize gas. Then pull it into the engine.
What's in the bucket?
Gasoline.
Gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
And we do have a carburetor bowl full of gasoline as well
Right.
at the moment, so
It'll crank up first, and then this will take over. And
you think by the time it runs out of gasoline, it'll be drawing enough vapor
Sure.
out of this bucket to run?
Yep.
And this is the first time you've tried this on this engine with this setup.
Exactly. First time I've tried it on this engine.
Let me zoom in on it. So if this thing runs, you'll take it apart so we can get it on video.
Yep.
This will be test number one.
That's number one. Numero uno.
Two actually, but we'll count it as one.
Well, we weren't exactly running when it was time.
You ready?
Yep. Ready when you are. Probably idle up pretty high. Oh yeah, I hear it.
What do you need me to do?
Keep on trying.
Put some gas back in the bowl.
There's one thing I gotta do here. Forgot about this. We're not
Forgot technology. It fired off something.
Yeah.
It's fired. Trying to fire.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we didn't have the toilet valve sealed.
Yep. Exactly. All right. Now it should pull pretty good. Almost. Good. Let me try one more thing. Good old tape.
This is black smoke. So it must have been drawn.
Yep.
That's a pretty long tube.
Yeah, it is. Longer than I. All right.
Let's put some gas in here.
Yep, exactly. So we got to take it off and try it. this thing.
It flooded it. I guess when you hear it start to die, put that on there. You're still flooding it, I think.
Yeah, it's got to suck it through. It's the thing. It's works on suction.
Why don't we just flood it?
Here, then. There you go. Almost. Okay.
Ah! Well, you're adjusting this valve, and you need to adjust this valve. At the
Right.
same time.
That's your new.
So this is
valve there.
this is your this.
Try her again. Put that
All right.
thing back on there. Yeah, that's his gas.
That's the carburetor now. It's there.
All right.
So you want to explain to us what you just did, Frank?
Sure. I just simply ran it off the vaporized part of the gas, not the gas itself. Essentially, I'm pulling in air through here.
You want to take that lid off?
Sure. It'll take a little bit because it's a little tight on there, but
The engine actually sounded good on running
oh yeah,
on that.
very good. So
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no problem. I'm just pulling in air and it's bubbling through the gasoline. And once it bubbles through, it picks up the vapor of the gasoline. So essentially, you're burning it almost like 100% complete. And it certainly has a lot of power to it.
With a bucket.
What?
A bucket. A 5-gallon
Just
paint
a
bucket.
5-gallon bucket. Yep, that's a simple version of doing it. And there it is. There's holes at the bottom here, which pulls the air in and it bubbles straight through the gas.
Huh.
That's it. Simple, basic, and it works. Now the problem with this type is
You got a piece of, what you got in there? Your old,
nothing really. Oh, this, yeah, just a little bit of
hold on. There it is.
steel wool type.
Steel wool.
Yeah, stainless steel wool. It's just for any backflashes, just to make sure.
And this, we lost the battery. Hold on a second. Let me turn this. There we go.
All right.
We got a inverter charging our camcorder off of the Volkswagen battery. So before we lost power,
Yeah,
Frank.
I was simply saying that this is an air version which sucks the air in through this tube, and there's holes at the bottom which bubble through the gasoline. And then the vapor is picked up through the carburetor, just pulls it.
And it's just pump gas from the gas pump.
Yep, that's it.
87 octane,
87 octane.
cheap stuff.
Right.
And it's what? Lucky to be 45 out right now.
Yeah, probably.
45, so it's cold and it's still making vapors.
Oh yeah.
So you want to show us, in case we didn't get it on video, the holes on the bottom again?
Sure.
And explain it.
See the holes on the bottom here?
Yep.
All right. Essentially.
And those are real precision, I see.
Yeah, real precision. Essentially, it gets sucked in. Once you pull this, goes to the carburetor, it pulls a vacuum. It'll pull air through this tube and bubble through the gasoline and then just be pulled right up into the carburetor.
Huh. I'm actually impressed. It takes a lot to impress me.
Ooh, hey.
So maybe we need a smaller ball valve?
Yeah, there's a couple things I can do to custom make it to this. However, as I was explaining to him before, this isn't the ideal one. This is fine, it'll work, but it'll eventually freeze up because it's pulling a vacuum and it shuts it down. I had made a system where it heated the outside and that works fine, but it doesn't give you as much mileage as the other two versions. This one in particular will give you roughly 100 miles per gallon. The ultrasonic transducer version will give you around 200 miles per gallon. And one more is the heated vapor. That will give you around 300 miles per gallon because it's a smaller molecule that you're making.
So what's the chances of you getting a smaller valve on there and trying this again?
Very good. Easily done.
Frank's trying to make a Porsche engine out of this Volkswagen engine.
It's a powerful thing. When that thing runs, the vapor is so much more powerful. You got to be careful because you guys saw it was like, yeah,
Actually, I think it sounded better than the carburetor.
Oh yeah.
What do you think, Todd?
Oh, I think there's a lot less emissions, and I think that it's very potent.
Do you think any gas was left in the carburetor?
I don't think there's any gas at all. It's sucking vacuum through the carburetor. I know that for sure.
Huh. And you witnessed we did take the gas line off?
Oh yeah, it was hanging here the whole time.
Yeah. And you even put your finger on the gas line, gas intake for the carburetor?
Oh, it's sucking vacuum through there.
Yeah, so we had a vacuum leak on the gas
small
line.
vacuum leak, but it didn't really make a difference when I put the my finger over top of it. But I can feel it pulling.
What's this, Frank? A vacuum for a vacuum, a house vacuum?
Yep. It's for
Come out the same size as the carburetor?
right. Excuse me.
Wet vac.
Yep. Wet vac hose.
Huh.
That's it.
You don't have some plutonium or something inside there?
I don't know.
Thorium dioxide.
That's
Pretty
it. Real simple.
impressive, Frank.
Trust me.
Yep, I am officially impressed.
And simplicity at its best.
Huh. So you could probably take a generator, take this Volkswagen and put a generator on it and run it outside your house for a little bit of nothing.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you tune this thing in.
Already done that with a generator, and I've run it for 3 times the normal gasoline run.
We got these bazooka cannons on the on the Volkswagen engine. My neighbors love that. I'm surprised none of them's complained about us running this engine. So, test number 1. Run the Volkswagen engine on vapors from a bucket and some duct tape.
That's it. We spare no expense.
But if someone wanted to donate some funds for Frank, I'll put his
It's all in here with us.
yeah, just you just want him to donate it to me and
Yeah,
put your
that'd be
name on
best.
it?
Yes.
Because Frank's coming here every weekend almost. Todd showed up today. He's helping us out. Other people's helping us out. If you wanted to further the, what are we going to call this? The vapor carburetor bucket?
Yeah, that sounds about good.
Vapor carburetor
Ritter
bucket. And at our first conference 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, you run a generator on this similar thing.
Absolutely, yeah.
We'll put a link in the description to that. And this is what we need funding for. He just showed you how to do it. He helps people all the time. If you email him, he tells you exactly how he does this stuff. It's no secret. He's not a secret about it. He hasn't been thrown in jail because of it.
That anybody knows.
Oh, man.
Seriously, other people say they've been thrown in jail for this type of technology. We haven't seen it yet. We're still out here. We need people's help to join in. We need money. We need physical help, money help.
Right.
Donate to the sickness. That's all I
Yep.
can say.
Do you want to tell them what you give me today?
I donated myself today $100.
Yep. Because he wants to see this stuff done.
It's got to get done somehow, and you guys are doing it.
Are you happy with what you saw today?
Oh yeah, I'm very impressed, especially with the air gas. And
Todd actually got, let me see your hands. Are they dirty?
Yeah, you got a little.
I got a little dirty.
Todd actually got in here, pulled spark plugs out, changed out spark plugs, regapped the spark plugs. We actually figured out we had a crossfire on our distributor cap causing some knocking. It's a good thing he showed up today because I may have not thought of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
Probably wouldn't have. So we can thank Todd for helping get the motor running. And we do have a test motor now with a new high volume oil pump and actual real engine filter instead of just a screen. Never mind a little bit of leaking, a little bit of smoking. That's all right. It makes a nice test engine. Because if the engine run perfect, we wouldn't be messing with it.
You know, it's funny, when I did my generator, something like that, I actually did it in reverse. I had to close it to start it. That's why I was.
Yeah.
Well, I honestly didn't think it was going to run there for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what was
Yeah, it
going
was
on.
absolute reverse of my generator.
And when Frank showed up with a bucket,
Yeah, he was like, "What?"
It's pretty amazing.
all right, it's starting to rain or snow. It might be snowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting close.
Good.
All right, say goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Till next time.
Okay, here we are at the old garage, hopefully soon to be laboratory, actual real laboratory with heat.
Yeah.
Frank and Todd come to see me. Today's Sunday. Yesterday it was snowing. What is it, April 4th, 5th?
It's 8.
April 8th, and it was snowing, 24 degrees last night.
Today's the 10th, so it was the 9th.
Yeah. So these guys have been helping me out on this engine. We had a bit of an oil problem. We lost oil pressure. The oil pump is right here. Took the oil pump apart. The previous owner didn't do a very good job when they rehabbed the oil pump. The oil pump was pretty bad shape. Bunch of scars in it, dings in it. Bunch of Permatex. Burrs on the holes. What they had done was they drilled these holes out to 3/8. They're supposed to be 8mm, which is close to 5/16. 3/8 is around 10mm, and they didn't do a very good job putting the thing back together. We ended up with 0 oil pressure sometimes. We got this external oil filter and high volume pump. Actually has 30mm pump gears inside, and an actual real oil filter, where the standard Volkswagen just has a screen inside. And this is actually what Stan Meyer had on his engine. So now we've got a lot better oil pressure, and we're getting ready to start it up.
First, you film me, I'm filming you back.
So who's this guy in the beard? Who are you again?
My name's Todd Jones.
Todd Jones. What brings you here?
Brings me here to Stan Meyer's sickness.
Stan Meyer sickness.
At the wellness clinic.
So we're getting ready to fire this up again. Make sure we got oil pressure. We got the new pressure gauges. We got a tachometer, but I forgot to bring it this morning. And you can have a look at the bug outside. Open that, what do you call that in the front? It ain't a trunk, is it?
I smell the front trunk.
Front trunk. So this is actually pretty good shape. I already took the gas tank out. No rust holes. It's got some rust, but no rust holes. This is going to be our on-road test vehicle. I took the front drums off. We got new brakes underneath. I went ahead and painted the drums. We got to get the back drums off yet. They're kind of growed onto the axle. I already got the nut off. Got to see if we can get the drums off. But the bug is actually in really good shape. The interior, of course, you know, the thing's old. But we already got the interior out. It used to be red at one time. And the engine, of course, we started it up the other week. It's in on the floor. Make some interesting road tests.
Still want to make it red with spots?
Yeah, I think we will. We'll paint it orange. Orange with black spots.
Ladybug.
Everybody's wondering if I fit in here, Frank.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. The test, will he fit in here? Yep, here he goes. It fits in there pretty good. With headroom.
Once you get in, there's leg room.
Trying to get out is another story.
1972 Super Beagle.
Uh-huh.
It's as old as I am.
Cool.
So you ready to start the engine?
Let's crank this thing up.
We're still on voltage for some reason.
Shaking a bit. There we go. Yeah.
There we go.
There you go. Yep.
52 psi, 20 degrees Celsius.
Cool. Excellent.
Need to set that idle valve.
Okay. Okay.
What did you do with that crescent wrench? We got Here's Frank again. Frank was nice enough to help me paint one wall today. We painted the garage door inside. Painted the one wall. We got what is that 10 foot high?
Yeah, I guess so.
Roughly 10 foot high by 40 foot long. A little bit on the corner. Got a bunch more junk to move to do the back wall. Last week Frank helped me get some of this crap off the ceiling. We got to get the brake hubs back on the bug so we can move it to do the ceiling above. We got one wall painted. You can see all this shadow.
Oh yeah.
And let's see. The outside's already painted years ago. The floors are going to get dirty anyway, so. And we got the two windows here in the back. Looks pretty good. Appreciate it, Frank, for the help. Like $100 for that, just to paint that wall.
Yeah.
Adds up pretty quick.
That's That's for sure.
So here's Frank again. You see my mess behind him, slowly getting stuff situated.
Oh, yeah.
We've been using this table saw, doing some work on top of it, and we took some of the ceiling and the crap that fell out of the ceiling. And we made us a nice little bench here, temporary bench until all the walls and ceiling get in. So what are we doing here today, Frank?
Messing with alternators.
Alternators? What the heck for? It's HHO. Can't I just stick a 12-volt battery on there?
Could.
You could? It don't work too well, does it?
Doesn't.
If you have electrolyte, 12-volt battery works just fine. If you're not using electrolyte, you got to increase the voltage.
Very much so.
So what the heck's going on here, Frank?
Well, we're pulling apart new ones and getting ready to rewind them.
Rewind them? What the heck for?
Because we like doing things like that.
So what particular alternator is this?
Ford alternator.
A Ford. It looks pretty big.
Yep.
You wanting to pull some amperage out of there?
Nope.
What do you mean nope? I got to charge my battery, hook that crap up to the battery and charge the battery, don't I?
Nope.
No, what do you mean no? So how come this great big monster?
Simply because it's the same one that Stan used.
I think he used it because he probably had a hand about the size of mine. He was a pretty big guy too.
Yeah, easier to work with.
It's easier to get your hand in there. So, those things you see sticking out are brushes. They go on, I think they call it a slip ring, I think. Maybe not. This is your rotor. You got fingers for the rotor. One side comes north, one side comes south. This is your stator. And what Frank is not saying is we got a notepad, we got a pen. We're going to make notations of how this thing's wound. And we're going to rewire it for some odd reason. This is the same one, only it's old. We're going to cut it first, I think. Then cut Frank's nice, pretty new one. How much was this thing, Frank?
It's actually 43 bucks. Not bad.
43 bucks. We tried to buy just the stator.
Yeah.
The stator was more than the whole alternator.
Right.
So we're going to cut this thing apart, see what makes it tick. And then we're going to rewind it, try to get similar to what Stan did. And how come we're doing this?
Because we like to.
What are we going to do with this thing afterward?
Well, we're hoping that it'll, let's see, how do I want to put this? Produce a lot of HHO with very little amperage.
So you're saying volts instead of amps?
Absolutely.
Where the hell did you get an idea like that?
I don't know, I just think of these crazy things.
Could be that's what we've been working on, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Volts instead of amps.
Stan Meyer said it, and that's what we're trying to achieve.
Yep. All right, Frank, say goodbye. Okay, there's 3 alternators here, all the same model. This is Frank's. He got lucky enough to got one that's been rewound, a new stator, new wire in it. Curious thing, this one has 3 wires coming out. Let's see if I can focus in. There's 2 wires into one. Each one of these is 2 wires into one. 3 phases, 3 outlets. This one is also 3 phases. The curious thing is there's 1 wire, 1 wire, 1 wire, and they're all connected by the other end of the wire. This is what's called a Y wound stator. This is a delta wound stator. The delta is wound this way for higher amperage. The Y is wound this way for higher voltage. And the third one is also a delta. Now there's 3 alternators here, 40 bucks a piece. That's 120 bucks. And I have some other videos showing about how these things are set up. Hopefully I'll put those links in the description box of this video.